Thank you. Now, I would like to request Honorable Chairman, Board of Governors, to formally declare the opening of the convocation.
I declare the 5th convocation of NIT Arunachal Pradesh open.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request the Honorable Director of the Institute, Professor Pinakeshwar Mahanto, to present the annual report of the Institute for the academic year 2017-18.
Sri Sanjay Hemant Imandarji, founder Rucon, co-founder Bhau Institute of Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Leadership, AICT Startup Policy Implementation Committee, Professor Anil D. Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman AICT as well as Chairman Board of Governors NIT Arunachal Pradesh, members of the Senate, faculty members, invited dignitaries, guests, graduating students and their family members, members of the media, officers and staff of the Institute, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to the 5th convocation of NIT Arunachal Pradesh. I take this opportunity to express our solemn gratitude to Sri Sanjay Hemant Imandarji for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest of the convocation, for kindly agreeing to deliver the convocation address. I am delighted to share with you that 3 number of PhD students, 105 undergraduate students and 116 postgraduate students will receive their degree today. I extend my heartiest congratulations to all of them. I'll now present briefly a report on the activities and achievements of the Institute for the period January to December 2012. This campus of the Institute is temporarily located here at UPR, but permanent campus will be at the place called Jote, which will be 25 kilometers away from Itanagar, and construction work of that I'll show you at the end. The new BOG members, Sri Atop Lego, Chief Engineer APWD Arunachal Pradesh, Sri Tayak Talom, Director Higher Education Arunachal Pradesh, Dr. Mainak Malik, Associate Professor Department of Civil Engineering, NIT Arunachal Pradesh, were actually appointed as the new Board of Governors members this time. Dr. Malik was selected as a Senate nominee. We have now 9 departments. Out of that, we have 7 UG courses run by 7 departments like biotechnology, chemical technology, civil engineering, computer science and engineering, electronics and communication, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. We have 7 PG courses. A PhD is floated in all the departments except the chemical engineering. The Central Library is having printed book titles about 4,500 plus numbers, volumes of more than 31,600, e-books amounting to 826, and we have recently purchased the Turnitin software for plagiarism checking that is having also a higher license of 100 users. The budget of the Central Library, so far we have utilized 99,71,248, and budget for TechUp 3 we have not utilized yet, but likely to be utilized by March is 32 lakhs. We are the member of NDL, Association of Indian Universities, Current Science Association, as well as Institution of Engineers of India. As far as faculty goes, faculty total sanction post is 53. Out of that, existing faculty members are 48. 1 is on Lien. DST, we have 1 inspired faculty in biotechnology and 1 training teacher in computer science and engineering. And non-teaching staff, we are having 58 numbers. Sanction post of 58 numbers, we have existing staff of 56. The faculty to student ratio is maintained at 1:16. We have to increase it to 1:12. And faculty to staff ratio is now 0.842:1. We have already moved proposal to the ministry to increase the faculty strength as well as student strength. Hopefully, in next 6 months' time, we'll be able to recruit faculty and staff for the institute. Total number of students in our PG and UG programs are 717 as on roll, and PhD is 63. We have now biotechnology, all the disciplines we have 30 capacity. Out of that, biotechnology is having total 59 students, chemical 60, civil engineering is having 101, computer science 93, electronics 95 undergraduate students, mechanical 92, electronics 86. Similarly for PG also, we have a strength of maximum of 37 students in mechanical system design and innovation, and lowest is the case of MTech in mobile communication. The UG student and PG student portfolios are like this. The girls to boys ratio is of course poor, but we are looking into the picture. We have seen that it is improving gradually for last 2 years, and the number of girls in the PhD student are also increasing for last 2 years. Particularly in science stream, it is increasing more. New initiatives that have been taken up during this last 1 year is, we have already appointed Dr. Gyamar Inia of NERIST as the visiting physician for thrice a week. Internet connectivity, we have got now 100 Mbps internet connectivity. Institute main domain has been created. NBA accreditation, we have started the process of accrediting 3 departments: electrical engineering, electronics, and computer science. Repairing of existing hostels are being done. We have first newsletter of the technology, that is Technodoya, is published on 11th of October this year. Apart from this, we have started one Gandhi Study Center to motivate the students for fostering the Gandhian philosophy in technology as well as humanities science. The Gandhi Study Center was inaugurated by His Excellency Governor Brigadier Dr. D.D. Mishra, Arunachal Pradesh on 2nd October, remotely from Raj Bhavan. In this context, 1 week program was organized from 2nd to 9th of October at NIT Arunachal Pradesh through various departments like ECE, Bio, EE, Mechanical, and Civil Engineering. Apart from that, Swachh Bharat Mission, Unnat Bharat Abhijan will be operated under the banner of this particular center. Moreover, undergraduate projects on improvement of cottage industry will be taken up through this center. The major equipment purchased during the last 1 year, Department of Biotechnology, we have purchased electrochemistry workstation, high pressure liquid chromatography, -20 degrees Celsius freezer, fermenter. Then Department of Mechanical Engineering have purchased vapor absorption test rig, computerized air conditioning test rig, and 3 workstations. Department of Civil Engineering purchased a software called Primavera P6, Adobe, and high-end desktop 1 numbers. Department of Chemical Engineering purchased 1 ultrasonicator. Research activities, we have now in all total 22 ongoing projects amounting to rupees 6.51 crore approximately, and consultancy of 6 numbers which are completed this 1 year amounting to 1 lakh rupees. We got 5 major projects during this year sanctioned. Out of that, this DST and NMHS projects by T.D. Das and Dr. S.K. Jena of Department of Basics and Applied Science as well as Biotechnology amounting to almost 0.5 crore are important. Other are small projects. Research publications in SCI and high index journals and as well as in conference. In all total, we have 68 publications each for the journal as well as for the conference. Books published as co-authors. 2 books were published, one by Dr. Devajit Datta on engineering mathematics, and another is by Shantanu Roy on biohydrogen. books chapter published were 6 during this year. That is on biotechnology, 3 number of book chapters, civil engineering 1, mechanical 1, and electronics and communication 1. Patents, I am happy to say that we have been granted 8 number of patents during last 1 year. All patents are approved, granted. One were from biotechnology by Dr. Pallavi Kalita Hui. Computer science, there were 3 patents by Lieutenant Asud Sarkar. Electronics and communication, 3 patents by Dr. Alak Majumdar. Basic and applied science, there is 1 patent approved for Dr. Devajit Datta. Awards and honors, the best research award for presenting paper was given for IETE conference at Indore, IIT Indore to Dr. Alak Majumdar. Outstanding Women in Engineering Award was given to Dr. Preeti Sudha Meher by Center for Advanced Research and Design at International Women's Meet. Then Best Paper Award also was given to Dr. Alak Majumdar for a variable delay circuit for developmental identical rise and fall time in ICCACCS Calcutta during November 2018. Dr. Preeti Sudha Meher was again given Best Paper Award in ICISD and IA conference in Mauritius. Dr. Deepak Gupta chaired a symposium session for computational intelligence at Bangalore. Dr. Preeti Sudha Meher got a conference on information system and design on intelligence at University of Mauritius again. Invited Dr. Professor Mahanta, Director NIT Arunachal, gave the keynote lecture at the International Conference of Recent Trends and Developments in Mechanical Engineering at NIT Meghalaya during November 8 to 10. Dr. Mihir Kumar Som, Management and Humanities, delivered lecture in empowering the people through digitalization and cooperatives on occasion of 64th All India Cooperative Week. Then he also inaugurated the Entrepreneurship Development Program at Hotel Pilgrim Conference at Naharlagun. Dr. Anup Paul delivered a lecture on tumor ablation during laser-assisted plasmonic photothermal therapy at Malaysia. Pallavi Kalita Hui delivered lecture on natural products, medicinal plants on biotechnology, secondary metabolisms, drug discovery at Rajiv Gandhi University during November. Dr. Sunit Nandi Trinity Sir delivered lecture in PyCon 2018 held in Hyderabad during October. Achievements of All India Inter-NIT Tournament 2018-19 under the leadership of Amit Das. 7 faculty and staff attended badminton, carom and other games, and they got 1 runners-up prize, say Nabarn Talar in badminton singles. We received this prize on the day before yesterday. Expert lectures delivered at the institute are Dr. Sukhomoy Paul from IIT Guwahati, Dr. Gaurav Trivedi from IIT Guwahati in Electronics and Computer Science delivered few lectures here at NIT. Dr. Kasi Vishwanathan, Assistant Professor, School of Engineering, IIT Mandi delivered few lectures. Professor Vidyut Kumar Bhattacharya, Fellow, IEEE, Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication, NIT Agartala helped us coming time to time and delivering lectures to our students. MOU signed. Department of Biotechnology made 4 MOUs with School of Medical Science and Technology, IIT Kharagpur, Department of Biotechnology, IIT Kharagpur, National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad, GB Pant Himalayan Institute. Unnat Bharat Abhiyan of NIT Arunachal Pradesh has MOU with Poma Bamboo Processing Center near Jote. Activities, conferences, workshops, seminars attended, short-term course attended, 24 faculty and 33 students attended it. Professional development programs, 2 programs were held at IIMs, 7 workshops were held. Financial supports were given to the students for attending workshops and conferences. Apart from that, BTech project consumables were given from this TechWeb program. Startup grants membership fee for professional bodies, induction programs for first year students, expert lecturer for various departments, and attending summer internship for various institutions were provided from TechWeek this year. Current major activities of TechWeek are GATE training to final year students. It is ongoing. Startup activities have been started. Funding for BTech consumables, employability test has been started. Encouragement to NPTEL online courses. Forthcoming major activities are employability skill training under industry readiness program, and approximately 9 crore rupees procurement plan for equipment has been approved. These are the workshops already arranged. Student activities, some students like Ms. Ambika Chaudhary, MTech CSC was awarded Best Paper Award in IC3 held in SMIT Sikkim. Yogesh Joshi, BTech third year, represented Startup Symposium in NIT Agartala. Mr. Umed Pratap Singh, Department of Biotechnology, stood ranked 96 in GATE 2018. Student internships, students were able to attend different prestigious institutes and organizations during the last summer, like IIT Bombay, IIT Madras, BHU, Guwahati, NIPER, Hyderabad, GAIL, NTPC, etc. NSS and NCC activities were conducted. Importantly, NCC B certificates, 46 students were awarded B certificates and 32 students were awarded NCC C certificates. Apart from the blood donation camp, Republic Day and other Independence Day activities were also done under this program. Student clubs and chapters, some student clubs and chapters have been formed, like Innovation Club, Utthan Club, Sports Club, Entrepreneurship Cell, NCUS Theatre Club, Startup Center. NIT AP even has subscription to prestigious organizations like IEEE Student Chapter and Human Resource Club. The technical festival of NIT Arunachal Pradesh is Adubhedi. This time it was held in October 12, between October 12 to 13. Most of the cases, students from different other institutes attended, lectures and talks, workshops, and even they had some important fun events, robotics. Then another cultural annual festival of the institute is the Otullam. In 2018 it was held, and major things in Otullam were the creative exhibition, band performance, Mr. and Mrs. Otullam, football, cricket, etc. Innovation Center was created very recently at NIT. The activity done so far is half-day workshop on cognitive skill, design thinking and critical thinking. Already another important activity called Agni, Accelerating Growth of New India Initiative. NIT became a part of it. Dr. T.D. Das is the coordinator of this particular innovation cell. IPR cell is also formed with 5 faculty members in last September. The cell is in operational mode now. Women Empowerment Cell was formed and it is celebrated its Women's Day program on 8th of March 2018. Apart from that, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat program, NIT Arunachal Pradesh is a pair with Uttar Pradesh and Meghalaya. So students are applying between NIT Meghalaya and Uttar Pradesh. Some of the activities they did in NIT Meghalaya recently. Similarly, Unnat Bharat Abhijan, we have adopted some villages near Jote. 5 villages were taken, and students are visiting these villages and taking part and trying to make people aware about technology and day-to-day living, hygienes, etc. Then, legal awareness program was held on October 11th, which was sponsored by National Commission for Women, and certifications were given to the participants, particularly for essay competition. Training and placement brochure was made this time, and it was circulated to all the companies. List of major recruiters this time are BPCL, Power Grid, Bharat Electronics, Oil India, Ashok Leyland, then L&T, Infosys, IBM, and some companies are on queue to come. Placement scenario is that this year the highest package was 8.5 lakhs per annum offered by Louis India. Lowest package so far is by TCS 3.2 lakhs, and more than 36% students are already placed. And we hope by end of this year at least 60% students will get placed. Civil construction, the permanent campus will be in a place called Jote. Already I gave in the first slide. Here, this is the pictorial view, and we made a model. Our students had made a model. After the convocation, you can see the back side of our bundle. The model has been created. Some of the construction works are already done, like few academic blocks, like mechanical, chemical, and biotechnology. Few residential quarters are also completed. Hostels are on, 2 hostels are under completion. Approach road has been made. So this total cost is 768.27 crore. This will be hopefully be released by ministry. Proposal for shifting the permanent campus is the UG classes from July to December. We are planning, and these 3 academic buildings, which are almost completed, will be equipped from next month, so that from July students can go and attend the classes. All UG laboratories will be also set up by end of March and April. Provision for internet, water supply, and electricity are in priority. That will be also completed. PG classes will be continued at temporary campus till the completion of other academic blocks and hostels. So hopefully by another 2 years' time, we'll be moving from UPR to Jote. Thank you. Then, as a closing remark, I'd like to say that we bid adieu to yet another pool of bright and brilliant young minds who have been nurtured by this institute and who will be now taking step into the real world. We congratulate each one of them. We thank all the stakeholders, and we promise to discover many more ways to instruct, innovate, and inspire. We seek to do that not as the functioning device with inputs and intelligence, but as a healthy organism with passion, feelings, and personal care that uphold the values of our great country. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Good morning, everyone. Chief guest of 5th convocation ceremony of NIT Arunachal Pradesh Itanagar, Sri Sanjay Inamdarji, who is a well-known industrialist and a passionate industrialist as well as educationist. Professor Pinakeshwar Mahanta, Director of NIT Arunachal Pradesh, Deans, Heads of the Departments, Members of the Board of Governors, Senate, faculty members, guests, dignitaries, and most importantly, graduating students and their parents. Heartiest congratulations to all those who are receiving their bachelor's, master's, and PhD degrees during this convocation, and also gold and silver medals for their achievements during today's convocation. I am extremely delighted to be amongst you since I started my career as a faculty member from very nearby institute, nearest in Arunachal Pradesh itself, way back in 1987. I have very fond memories of this place, and every time I come, I see large change, huge transformation in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. There has been a lot of development which has taken place. I am thankful to Sri Sanjay Inamdarji for having accepted our invitation and being with us to deliver the 5th convocation address. He is a self-made man coming from a small town in Maharashtra, from a middle-class family, taking diplomas and degrees from Germany, then MIT and Harvard, setting up an industry with no entrepreneurial background in the family and making it a 100% export unit, all through his hard work, dedication, honesty and integrity. He is a sterling example for all our graduating students today then you can succeed if you put in hard work with great sincerity and passion. Convocation is both a solemn occasion and a festival to celebrate the graduation of students. Dear graduating students and the medal winners, this is an occasion for reflecting on your journey in NIT, the background from where you have come, many of you being the first generation learners from remote villages, the struggle that you have gone through, the hard work you have done, and you must also remember your parents and teachers for providing necessary help and support during your studies. I was highly impressed by the report card of the institute given by the director of the institute, Dr. Pinakeshwar Mahanta. In a short span of 10 years, there have been phenomenal achievements that have been made by the institution, and that progress report was really exciting. The faculty-student ratio, which is already 1:16, is required to be taken up to 1:12. We need more faculty, more staff. The construction of the buildings in the permanent campus in Jote are ongoing. Presently, we are all in UPIA, but very soon, part of the movement will happen into the permanent campus at Jote, and subsequently, in a year or 2 years' time, the entire campus will be bubbling with activity in Jote. The Government of India had initially supported some funds, but we require more funds. Both the director and myself, we are after the central government, MHRD, to release more funds so that the construction activity is completed as fast as possible and we will be able to move into the campus. We have to create a good life around in the campus. Some of the very important things which required and which will be provided include medical facility, including the doctor on the campus, round the clock electricity and water, and not only that, mobile connectivity and internet. I think today mobile connectivity and internet are almost like oxygen for all of us. Without that we cannot survive. So I'm sure that we will be able to provide all these opportunities for our students, faculty and staff onto the campus, and also good connectivity. The road is also not so good today, and we have been talking to the Honorable Governor of the state, and he has been putting in word to the PWD to complete the road as fast as possible in an excellent manner. And with the initiative of the Honorable Governor, a very important center, Gandhi Study Center, has been established, and the motivation behind that was none other than, as I said, the Governor of the state, Brigadier Mishra. This is very important because we have an Unnat Bharat Abhiyan program under which 5 villages are adopted by the students of this institute. And we have lots of challenges, not only on the campus, but in the surrounding villages. How can technology indeed help our villagers is very important, and here it cannot be in isolation. Only civil engineering students cannot do what is required to be done. There could be mechanical engineering students who would be required to develop some of the items. There may be electronics and computer science required. And therefore, every activity which we will be doing under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan in those 5 villages will have very great establishment of interdisciplinary area of work and the research. And that is where this center is going to be very, very important. And Gandhiji, as he had thought that every village should be self-sufficient and independent, this would be a model which can be showcased to other institutions. Because as I am aware, there is no institution in the country where, in a technological university, there may be some arts, commerce, science colleges and general universities where there are Gandhi centers. But this is the first NIT. Professor Mahanta, I should congratulate to you and the entire institution and its administration for having thought of setting up of a Gandhi Study Center. The number of sponsored projects worth 6.51 crore. The number of patents, that is 8 patents being granted. A lot of research publications in good quality journals. Festivals of technology as well as culture. Atulam. I think these are all wonderful things which are happening in this institution, and we are very happy that this institution has been progressing in the right direction. As far as students are concerned, you have been in this institution for the last 4 years, some of you for 2 years, those who are doing master's degrees. You will be going out, venturing into the world outside, which is certainly not as cozy as the campus life. You are well taken care of by the teachers here, the director, the heads of the department, but outside world is more challenging. And therefore, you must envision yourself, your future, set your own goals, and work hard with full of dedication, honesty and passion, and I'm sure you will be able to achieve all that what you are dreaming of. This is also an occasion for the institute and its faculty to reflect upon its achievements, which were narrated to all of us right now, but also think about what were our original vision and goal for this institution, to what extent we have achieved them, what are the challenges ahead, what mistakes we committed, how to overcome those, and forge ahead, doing course correction, and within a couple of more years' time, we should be on a solid growth path. I know Professor Mahanta for the last 2 decades, and how through his hard work and dedication has risen to become the director of this NIT. Hence, I am confident that he will steer this institute through all the difficulties, and I clearly see a very bright future for this institute. We have had interactions with the Honorable Governor a couple of times, who has assured all possible support for this institution. During the last convocation, we also had the Chief Minister of the state and the Education Minister. They had also committed all their support. I am sure with the support of the state government, with the support of the central government, we will be able to steer ourselves off from the difficulties that we are in today. As far as the country is concerned, India is at a stage of takeoff. From being an underdeveloped economy at the time of independence at 1947, gradually moved on to become a developing economy and has been on a launch pad of becoming a developed economy. We are already a 6th largest economy in the world and fastest growing economy with GDP growth rate of 7% plus, which is the highest in the world. The IT revolution in the late 80s and 90s has pushed the frontiers of India, being recognized as a software powerhouse. The gross enrollment ratio today stands at 26% from near 0.7% at the time of independence. The number of youth in India is at its peak, creating demographic dividend. But to reap this advantage, quality of education needs to be strengthened across the board. One of the challenges youth are facing today is employment opportunities. Many a times industry bodies talk about employability of graduates being very poor. We need to work towards creating not only employable engineers, but employment creating engineers by starting startups and becoming entrepreneurs. So for building new India, the educational institutions have to have a right mix of knowledge, which is knowledge creation, knowledge assimilation and knowledge dissemination, and lastly and most importantly, knowledge application, because that is where innovation starts building up and the startups and entrepreneurship starts beginning to create jobs. I would like to narrate a few suggestions and guidelines which is adopted by AICTE, and many institutions are following that. NITs may also take a leaf out of them and take up some of those activities. First and foremost thing is about the curriculum revision. The technology is rapidly changing. What we study in the institutions during our graduation may become outdated by the time we graduate, and therefore the curriculum needs to be upgraded continuously almost every year. And whatever is done is not enough, and therefore students should develop an attitude of lifelong learning and self-learning. And for this, they must look at all possible opportunities to learning new things which are emerging in the outside world. And I'm very happy that MHRD and AICTE have developed a MOOCs platform called Swayam, where more than 1500 odd courses are already existing, and by years it would be at least 10,000 courses would be available. And any new development happening in any field, you will have a course in that area onto this platform. And therefore, once you graduate, you don't have to worry that how can I learn something new. So the learning is going to be possible from your home, from your laptop, from your mobile phone, and best of the lectures, best of the faculty of this country who deliver these lectures will be available to you anytime, anywhere. It is like ATM machine where you take cash anytime. So you can have any course of your choice. You can learn anytime from anywhere, not only in this country, from anywhere in the world. I am sure that you will be able to make use of this. And our faculty also, if they have not learned something, they can also pick up from here. The next important thing is faculty development program, which is very interesting because for teaching in a high school, you require special pedagogical training in terms of becoming B.Ed or D.Ed. But for becoming a faculty member in a university or a higher education institution or a technical institution, if you have only a master's degree, or even if we have a B.Tech degree sometimes in smaller polytechnics, or if you have PhD, you can become a professor in any of the institutions. But knowing least about the pedagogical requirements that we need to have. And therefore, we have had a special 8-module program which is already designed, which will also be available on the SWAYAM platform. And therefore, every faculty member, once he comes into a position of a teacher, I think they should go through this program so that they will be armed with all the wherewithal for becoming an excellent teacher within a couple of years' time. We have also started what is known as student induction program of 3 weeks duration. And this is also very exciting because when students come for the first time in the undergraduate program, they come from different places, having passed their class 12, sometimes in English medium school, sometimes in local Hindi medium or Bengali medium or Assamese medium schools. Some of them from very poor background, some of them from reasonably good background, some of them from absolutely rural villages where there are not even roads, and some of them from towns and cities where there is affluence. And therefore, to create level playing field, it is very important that the first couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, are spent in gelling them all together. And therefore, this 3 weeks program is very interesting and important, where there will be no classes in the beginning. Students will come together, they will get up in the morning, go to the playground, play games, exercise, yoga, and they actually play real games and not computer games. They will come back, have a lot of discussion, debates, have interesting lectures by people of achievements. There could be inspirational movies, short documentaries shown. May go for a picnic in the nearby place to know the geography of the place. And if you do that under the supervision and tutelage of one faculty member for every 25 students, this faculty member automatically will become friend, philosopher, guide for those 25 students. And students in the next 4 years don't have to worry if there is any problem in the institution. They need not go here and there and do strike, but go to that faculty member with whom they have developed friendship and get the problem solved and resolved. I think this is a very important initiative which AICT has undertaken for all colleges, but NITs and IITs may also follow. Some of the IITs are doing this and they have been extremely successful in this. The next one is mandatory internship. We want that every engineering college student during the 4 years must go to industry at least about 6 months' time, either one full semester if the curriculum permits, or at least during 3 summer vacations, 2 months each, if they go to some industry, whether small scale, large scale, startup or SME. I'm sure that they will be able to learn the industry practices while they are still on the campus, and the people from industry who often talk that our students are not employable will vanish. All of them will be ready to become working engineers as soon as they complete their graduation. We have Industry Institute Interaction as one of the mottos. We want every institute to have a cell, like Placement Cell, Industry Institute Interaction Cell, projects from industry, live projects. The challenges which the industry faces have to be brought to the academic curricula. Students and faculty should jointly solve those problems, which will benefit not only students but also industry in terms of getting the problem from industry being solved by students. We also have declared that every institution should have innovation cell. I am happy only last month when Honorable Minister for HRD announced the 1003 total innovation cells established in different institutions. NIT Arunachal Pradesh was one of them. and the certificate was issued to NIT Arunachal Pradesh. So this innovation cell should have at least one laboratory or workshop where 24/7 facilities are available for students. Whenever they get new ideas, they should not wait but should be in a position to go immediately to that place, try to implement that idea. Sometimes they may fail, but never worry about failure. Continue with your passion. I'm sure that one day you will succeed. In terms of examination reforms, we have very elaborate exercise carried out. Examinations in India have been all time, right from our nursery school, high school, college, university, are based on mostly rote learning, that is memory based learning. Whenever a question paper is seen, we see that most of the items are required to be remembered and reproduced in the examination. Whether a student has understood that or not is never tested. And therefore, in terms of what is known as Bloom's taxonomy, our examination reforms should take care of not just memory-based learning, which may be also required, but which should be very limited, but whether student has really understood that topic, whether student is able to apply that in a particular domain, is able to solve a problem using the knowledge which he has acquired, is he able to migrate from one discipline to another discipline. A mechanical engineering student, can he solve the problem of electronics? An electronics student, can he solve the problem of chemical engineering? I think this is what the world is looking at, and our question papers never test this. And therefore, we are also saying that there must be open book examinations where you don't have to memorize anything, but you must know the subject in order to solve the problems. And that's why open book examinations are also being encouraged. Setting up of entrepreneurship clubs and incubators, this is very important. As I said, jobs are limited in the large industries, so we need to expand our base in terms of creation of jobs through entrepreneurships, and therefore startups have to be created. Support for variety of clubs. I was very happy that there are certain number of clubs here in this institution, but we need to have all variety of clubs into this institution. Every student should have, for his taste, one club or the other, and for every club there must be members, and every club being guided by one of the faculty members who is interested in that domain. If you do that, I'm sure our students will be in a position to not only acquire knowledge, but they will be all-rounded personalities, very fit for entire life, not for just first job, but the lifelong learning begins here. And there are multiple opportunities, as I said, in India, whether it is Make in India, Digital India, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, smart cities. In every domain, there is a requirement of technology, and therefore, National Institutes of Technology have a great role to play. And especially every NIT which is located in one particular state, the development of that state can be taken care of by the technological development. So I believe NIT Arunachal Pradesh has both a great challenge ahead and therefore an opportunity. All dear students who are graduating today, please remember that whatever you learnt here in this institution, if you put it for practice, work hard, sincerely, success will be bound to be behind you. You don't have to go behind success, but success will come behind you. With these few words, once again I thank the chief guest of today's function, all the parents who have come to encourage graduating students, and wish you all the best in your lives. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, thank you.
Chairman of NIT and also Chairman of AICTE, Honorable Dr. Anilji Sahasrabudhe sir, Director of NIT, Dr. Mahanta sir, all the dignitaries on the dais, distinguished faculty and staff, esteemed guests, invitees, parents, press, media, and most importantly, my dear graduating students. It is a great pleasure for me to address this fifth convocation of NIT Arunachal Pradesh. I am thankful to the management of NIT for inviting me on this special occasion. Within a short span of 8 to 10 years, this institute has earned a name as an eminent institution for technological study. It is your hard work, dedication, excellence, commitment to study, and commitment of your teachers, staff, the leadership vision of your managing committee, the chairman, that has resulted in this outstanding accomplishment. It gives me immense pleasure to acknowledge particularly the dynamic leadership of your chairman, your director sir, and the members of governing council. My dear graduating students, today is an important day in your lives and a significant landmark in your life journey. Entering this institution facing intense competition, you pursued academic work with great commitment. Through your hard work and dedication to maintain high standards of academia, you earned your degrees and awards. It is a moment of pride for you as much as it is for your teachers, parents, and everyone who has had some part in shaping your life so far. You can recall that your mission for learning technology started here. But as you already know, it does not end here. Learning is a continuous process, as all of you know. We want to apply our learning in contributing to the progress of our mother country, and in the process, make a great career for ourselves and a great life for our families. But please be sure, your main motivation is creating wealth and value for our mother country. And in the process, you are doing a great career for yourself and a great life for your family members. Famous poet David Thoreau once said, wealth is the ability to fully experience life. When you are leaving from here today, I want you to fully experience your life for which you are made for. Graduates, you have earned something special while creating the beginning to your life's further journey. While talking to you, I'm feeling honored and connected to you, and I recall myself sitting there like you on the doorstep of entering the professional world. And I was thinking, what the chief guest, someone like me who was sitting there, should tell me, should talk to me. I remember wanting the speaker to give me something of value to take home and apply to my own life. This is what I thought when I was sitting there, like you, and some other chief guest was giving the lecture like what I am giving you today. I wanted to hear experiences and tips to take into my future professional journey. With that in mind, friends, let me share with you 3 stories from my own life. I share them with the hope that my experiences and hardships can help propel you towards success at an expedited pace. You will succeed anyway. Probably after sharing these 3 experiences, you may expedite your success. That's what I believe in. That's why I'm trying to tell you 3 stories from my life, just about that. No big deal. I also share them with you to show that no matter what your future holds, and no matter how afraid of a future situation you may become, odds can be surpassed, obstacles can be overcome, and your perseverance can conquer all difficulties and you can achieve success. The first story that I would like to share with you is about having the courage to follow your own heart and intuition. Courage to follow your own heart and intuition. Like everyone in this room, my life started while I was in my mother's womb. The lady doctor had told my parents that she would give her best efforts, but since I, the child, was upside down in the stomach of my mother, it was quite likely that I would be delivered dead. Nature allowed me to beat the odds and survive the harsh conditions my mother and I faced at the birth. Both of us survived. After growing up as a student, I was told this, and I carried the feeling that this is already my second life. And I should make as much as possible out of this life. I became attracted to working for social causes while even I was in school. And I'm happy to share with you that that passion even continues today. The story goes like this. After college, I was working on a German Otto Junker melting furnace. I joined a company in Mumbai for making stainless steel. On one of the routine production days, there was some technical snag from our seniors, and that resulted into a big blast of molten metal with droplets of hot metal of 1600 degrees centigrade spreading everywhere. I was 22 years old at that time and witnessed 2 people die in front of me and another 2 fighting to get out of the mess. With no time to waste, I jumped on the platform and rescued 2 of my colleagues, and in the process heavily injured myself. The scene of death in front of my eyes remained flashing all the night, and while sleeping in horrific unconsciousness, I felt that I am dead. The vision of this incident even haunts me today. When I awoke in the next morning, I realized that I am alive. And I felt very grateful for my life. Friends, we all want to die old. I can tell you that by cheating death 2 times, I have learned that life cannot be taken for granted. We need to waste no time living someone else's dream. Let not the noise around us drown our own inner voice. Most importantly, I learned we must have the courage to follow our heart and intuition. We need to constantly ask ourselves, what if I have to die tonight? You must be knowing that so many billions of people on this world, earth, every night every one of us sleep, and about 1 million people do not wake up next morning. They are already gone. This happens every day. And we should thank ourselves and the nature that when we get up next morning, we are there, we are alive. I realize this even more because I have cheated death 2 times. So I tell you the importance of being on this earth and doing something worthwhile. We only have a limited time on this planet, and because of this, we literally do not have time to spend our lives living someone else's approval. Always follow your heart and intuition. For some of us, that means pursuing some out-of-box dreams, as I did on entrepreneurship. I'll tell you that in my second story. Some people around us may not like that. If we are pursuing something out of the box, people around us may not like it. Sometimes we also will not like it ourselves because we have influence of the people around us on us. But if something is in your heart, you owe it to yourself to at least attempt it. Have the courage, bravery, and confidence to go after what you believe in. I'll go with my second story, which continues with the first story. And I have learned stretching yourself to create what you want. Stretching yourself to create what you want. So I was lucky, and I found early in my life that I loved stainless steel making and I loved entrepreneurship. I knew what I wanted to do, but I was scared by the advice of others. As I told you, someone else's thoughts, shadows. And that's what exactly happened with me. I was scared by the advice of others to make my own beginning. I was repeatedly told about the risks of entrepreneurship. Our chairman, Dr. Sasagudde, said that we should be creator of jobs, not just seeking jobs. For that you must do innovation, entrepreneurship. But we are afraid because people say that you will not be able to do it. That's what exactly happened with me. The risks of entrepreneurship, that's what people used to tell me. The incident of furnace accident made me think differently. I thought that I could have been on the melting platform that day, and I could have been under the shower of molten metal that day, and anything could have happened with me. So the dimension of risk changed for me. And I asked myself, what more risk can there be in entrepreneurship than dying? I started my own with a borrowed capital of 7,000 rupees And I tell you, it's a misconception that for starting your own, doing something of your own, money is needed. Money is important. But as engineers, the first capital that we have is the knowledge and training we have received to overcome difficulties. To overcome difficulties. That is what Dr. Sasabudhe sir mentioned. We should not be just looking at mechanical engineering or electronics and telecommunication. We should be able to solve difficulties applying different domains. The financial capital is important, but it is not the compulsion to make a beginning. If we have the passion, everything else will fall in line sooner or later. I received my first inquiry for stainless steel valves that could withstand corrosive process fluid at elevated temperature and high pressure. You do not have metallurgy here, I was seeing, but some of you in mechanical or production engineering would understand what it is, or in your first year of your study you must have had some workshop experiences, so I think you can relate to it to some extent. So it was at elevated temperatures and high pressure, and my competition in business, I was nothing like a student of 23 years old, was with a large company that had a sales manager with printed literature, client contact information, car, and much more. I had nothing. But based on my confidence in designing and making a correct product, I pulled all my savings for the last 2 years in the service and made actually a sample of the product using my friend's manufacturing facility at night when the factory used to be closed. So I requested one of my very senior friends to allow me to work. I worked myself on the machines and made a product. I submitted my quote with that free sample to the company and requested the chief engineer, and not the purchase people, the chief engineer, to put it to use and check if my product's quality is good or not. The result was in my favor. When the chief engineer was convinced of the product's effectiveness, the purchase department placed a large order on me, and I was already in business and started at the age of 23. I believe learning something new every day, gaining domain confidence, and applying the learning to real life product by stretching limits is the key to entering entrepreneurship successfully. If not entrepreneurship, the same principles can be applied while you are in service. You can stretch yourself to achieve and become what you want. But remaining in the box, it is very hard to achieve what we want. Stretching ourselves. My third story, the last story, I would like to tell you is how fortune favors the bold. Fortune favors the bold. Making calculated but bold decision at the right time propels us ahead. When I say bold, I do not mean dumb or without reason or bad decisions. Decision making is an art. We learn from making mistakes. We learn also from others' mistakes. Because this is exactly how nature works. If we work in line with nature, success is guaranteed. This is how nature works. Learning from the mistakes, we should learn. When the Indian companies started opening up in 1995, Indian economy, I realized that export was going to be vital to prosper. So I started exports to export my products to German engineers, because I was in Germany, in Otto Juncker, and also in RWTH at the Athene. Some of you know the university maybe. So naturally, when it was export, Germany came to my mind, and I started my efforts towards Germany. And my method was proven, derived, because I had gotten a break by submitting samples. So I always thought that any product, you make a sample and submit. That was, I was thinking at the age of 26 or so. So I carried the same method, offered free samples to German clients. This strategy slowly resulted into drying up my hard-earned resources in the business so far, and repeated failures to obtain German customer. This is a story of failure and how difficulties can be converted into opportunities. Dr. Sasabudhe mentioned that difficulties can be converted into opportunities. So difficulties are very interesting. and we can convert them into opportunity. Just see this. So the resources were drying up. Additionally, because of my focus on exports, our Indian business suffered and dropped to almost 10% of what it was. At this time, a realization occurred that even though our products were up to the international quality standards, the German engineers were not still open to buying from India. It is not that my product was bad. German country as a country and as engineers were not open to buying from India because they told us that though our samples are perfect, they were not sure of the repetitive quality. See, making a quality in the lab, making a sample and making it repetitively good are two different things. They were not sure that whether we can produce consistently the same quality, and they decided not to place order on Indian firm like us. Although this may sound like a loss, it was in fact a great news for us, looking differently. We looked at it very differently. We had received approval of our sample from German engineers, which are some of the best in the world. They said that your sample is good. We knew this tremendously increased our chances of receiving orders from other developed countries who are not so much like Germans. With the experience gained from the exporting to Germany, trying to export to Germany, we soon were successful in getting customers from United States, France, Netherlands, Australia, Ireland and United Kingdom. As the years passed by, seeing our work with other developed countries and seeing that we can produce repetitive quality, we even received orders from the same German company that had previously rejected us. Today, we are a government-recognized star export house with 100% exports. We all can choose our own goals. What I mean to say is that larger or more is merrier is an assumption. Big is better can be an assumption. You decide your goal. Your professional goal can be small, medium or large. You decide. Just don't go after big things. I decided my goal, and then achieving the self-decided goal and doing something else with your life also is good. That also can be a destination. So small is or medium is not a step. It can be your destination also. Having a positive mindset has such a huge impact on the current happiness and success we will achieve in the future. It would have been unbelievably easy for us to leave the efforts because we are rejected by the German companies. As stated in the beginning of my talk, if money was my only motivation, we probably would have seen the rejected deal and given up. Instead, I cared about the product and business. I had dedicated so much of my life to it and refused to let it sink. I kept a positive mindset because I was confident in my abilities and I had the courage to go after what my heart was still telling me I could achieve. Remember, I have sat in the same seats that you are sitting today, and standing in front of you, I am a proof that this works. Persistent efforts conquers difficulties. I am a proof standing in front of you. Proactive and positive in moving forward your goals, then you'll be eventually achieving success. Sooner or later, but success is yours if you do this. After getting the business settled at the hands of our professionals, I shifted my focus to education, innovation and entrepreneurship. Bhau Institute of Innovation, a non-profit initiative, was co-founded with Dr. Anilji Sahasrabudhe, Mr. Kale and myself at the College of Engineering, Pune. Besides this, we have worked on a social entrepreneurship project called Ignited Innovators of India, which was very much liked by Dr. Kalam sir, and he visited us 3 times for this. And during last 8 years, this concept is explained and reached to over 1 million students across Maharashtra and beyond. My experience has taught me that completing worthwhile social activities during the college or even after college, please get engaged. My own experience tells me with some social activity, because while doing some social activity, we learn a lot of things which are needed to be successful in professional life. So, the path of success to professional life goes through social life. That's my experience tells you. So please consider going for some social work after you graduate in addition to what you are doing as a professional life. In conclusion, I encourage each one of you to create your own opportunities, be extremely creative, socially aware, and develop a strong sense of empathy. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow is an American poet. Normally all poets are British poets. Wordsworth Longfellow is an American poet. This is not here, but the same poet has said that, as I said, when empathy, so Longfellow says that little acts of kindness, nothing do they cost. But while they are wanting, life's best charm is lost. Let us then be something with a heart over fate, still achieving, still perceiving, learn to labor and to wait. The same Longfellow says that into each life some rain must fall. There will be hard times. There will be times when others doubt you. There will be even times when you doubt yourself. True success is not measured by the amount of failures that come into your life, but rather how you react to the failures. You must have seen the German rejection. How you react to the failure is important rather than the failure. Remember, we never stop being students. Time change, industries change, expectations change, and they give us two choices: continue growing or get left behind. We need to make the best out of our precious time we have on this planet. We owe it to ourselves. Graduates, have the courage to follow your heart and dreams. Stretch yourself to learn. The first story, have the courage to follow your heart and dream. Second story, stretch yourself to learn, experience, and constantly grow toward creating what you desire. And finally, third is, remember, the fortune favors the bold. Be bold, be confident, and allow yourself to dream. Follow these steps and you will grow into wise leaders who immensely contribute to India's growth and become successful in your own aspirations. Everyone in this room deserves to be happy and has enormous potential to achieve great things. You are about to embark on the rest of your life. Congratulations to each one of you. My best wishes. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Now we like to move towards the presentation of degrees. We first start with the presentation of PhD degree. I would like to call the Dean of Academic Affairs, Dr. Shaha, will present the PhD degree recipients, and the Chairman Senate will confer the degrees.
I present to you, sir, Sri Alak Majumdar, Sri Abir Jyoti Mandal, and Sri Argho Sarkar, who have completed the prescribed course of study and have been found fit for the award of their respective degrees of Doctor of Philosophy, and pray that they may be admitted.
Now,
I'd like to call Sri Alak Majumdar. Sri Abir Jyoti Mandal. And Sri Argha Sarkar.
Now, all recipients of degree of Doctor of Philosophy, please rise for admitting the degree by Chairman Senate.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Chairman of the Senate, I admit you all, including those in absentia, to your respective degrees of Doctor of Philosophy of the Institute, and charge you to be worthy of the same.
Thank you, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we now move on the presentation of MTech, MS degrees, and online MBA. Again, I like to call the Dean of Academic Affairs to present the MTech, MS degree and online MBA, and also I like to request Chairman Senate to confer the same.
I present to you, sir, MTech, MS, and online MBA students, including those in absentia who have completed the prescribed course of study and have been found fit for the award of their respective degrees of Master of Technology, Master of Science, and online MBA, and pray that they may be admitted.
Now I like to call the head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Dr. Kosh Sambo, with the list for the MTech in Computer Science and Engineering and Mobile Communication and Engineering.
MTech in Computer Science and Engineering, Roshan Bharati, Chitresh Kumar Singh, Pankaj Kundan Dadure, Promit Das, Kartar Nyodu, Priyanka Bardalai, Asutosh Kumar, Ankita Kumari, Pobin Gyati. MTech in Mobile Communication and Computing, Yasmina Parveen, Kosik Hajarika, Anupam Sonalika, Jayanta Saha, Supriya Bordoloi, and Deepsika Mahanta.
Now I would like to call the HOD of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Dr. Yang Sain, to call the names for MTech degree recipients in EDM and VLSI.
MTech Electronics Design and Manufacturing, Srija Shaha. Salam Jinkeni Singh. Mithilesh Kumar Ram. Prerna Rana. MTech VLSI and Embedded System, Payale Das. Rituparna Paul. Rashmita Borua.
Thank you, madam. Now, I would like to request Dr. Obhik Banerjee, HOD Electrical Engineering, to please call the names for MTech degrees in Renewable Energy and Energy Management.
MTech in DREAM under Electrical Engineering Department, Priotos Jena. Tashi Dondu. Pencil Saring. Kritika Mukherjee. Ravi Kumar Sinha. Manoj Mishra. Tony Kamshi. Gautam Kumar.
Thank you, Dr. Banerjee. Now, I would like to request the head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering to call the names for MTech degree recipient in Mechanical System Design and Innovation Technology.
MTech in MSDIT, Ankit Kumar. Atisha Sajid. Hashal Satish Devan. Rishikesh Pramod Yadav. Martin Koyo. Anka Datta. Nivedita Das. Mehdi Mehtab Mirad. Tani Doyo.
Thank you, Dr. Sen. Now, I would like to request the head of the Department of Humanities and Management, Dr. Shom, to call the names for MTech degree recipient in ATEP and online MBA.
MTech in Appropriate Technology and Entrepreneurship, Praveen V. Minibala Bargari. M. Ramachandran. Dadi Dhanalakshmi. Ankush Kumar Rati. Online MBA, সঞ্জীব কুমার দাস, মুনিয়া মণ্ডল, মমিন মুখার্জি, রাজদীপ মিত্রা, জর্জ জমা, তানা আতুং তারাক।
Thank you, sir. Now, I'd like to request the head of the basic science, Dr. Maiti, to call the names for MAs in Mathematics and Computing, Mathematical Physics, Mathematical Research in Engineering and Technology, and Electronic Science.
MS in Mathematics and Computing, Priyanka Kumari. Priyanka Kumari. Priti Kumari. MS in Mathematical Physics, Panchali Bhattakur. Yania Uli. Rajlakshmi R. Pulak Kakati. Sonia Boro. Abdul Shekhar KM. Ravi Shankar Bharma. Pulam Chatung. Rajat Srivastava. MS in Mathematical Research in Engineering and Technology, Kariel Arjuna Khatun. MS in Electronics Science, Arvind Sharma. Shubham Kumar Kaushik. Saurabh Kumar.
Thank you, sir. Now, all recipients of degrees of Master of Technology, Master of Science and Online MBA, please rise for admitting degrees by the Chairman Senate.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the chairman of the Senate, I admit you all, including those who are in absentia, to your respective degrees of Master of Technology, Master of Science and Online MBA of the Institute, and charge you to be worthy of this same.
Thank you, sir. Now we like to move towards the presentation of BTech degrees. And for that, I would like to call the Dean of Academic Affairs to present all the BTech degree recipients. Sir, please.
I present to you, sir, all BTech students, including those in absentia, who have completed the prescribed course of study and have been found fit for the award of their respective degrees of Bachelor of Technology, and pray that they may be admitted.
Again, I would like to call Head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering to call the names of the BTech degree recipient in CSE.
BTech in Computer Science and Engineering, Chandan Kumar. Popi Das.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to call the HOD EC for the BTech degree recipients of Department of EC.
BTech Electronics and Communication Engineering, Sunil Kumar. Biplav Nath. Gandham Vijay. Kailash Prasad. Pooja Mandal. Dev Kumar Upadhyay. Ashutosh Kumar. B. Rohit Kumar.
Thank you, madam. Now, I'd like to call Dr. Banerjee, HOD Electrical, to call the names for BTech degree recipient in the electrical engineering.
BTech in Electrical Engineering, Neeraj Kumar Mahato. Gerik Ete. Tenjing Samtem Thondak. Dibyanshu Kumar. Vishal Gangwar. Ritesh Kumar Baliar Singh. Pramod Kumar. Nitai Roy.
Thank you, Dr. Banerjee. Now I'd like to call Dr. Sen, HOD Mechanical Engineering, to call out the names.
BTech in Mechanical Engineering, Akututa Chakradhar. Rohit Kumar Singh. Rishi Kumar Singh. Prabhat Kumar. Avinash Kumar Gupta. Arman Kumar Sharma.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to call the HOD Civil Engineering, Dr. Barley, to call the degree recipient's name.
BTech in Civil Engineering, Happy Joram, Kenny Bangmur Karma, Suraj Kumar Jaiswal, Dava Dolma Sherpa.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Pallavi Kolita Hui, HOD Biotechnology, to call the degree recipient's name.
BTech in Biotechnology, Shreyash Harsh. Ogeti Amini Shri Sai. Shaikh Shadik. Umaid Pratap Singh. Thank you.
All recipients of degrees of Bachelor of Technology, please rise for admitting degree by the Chairman Senate.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Chairman of the Senate, I admit you all, including those in absentia, to your respective degrees of Bachelor of Technology of this institute and charge you to be worthy of the same.
In Chairman's Gold Medals, we'll be having two students. One, the highest number or topper in all UG courses, and the second one is the highest or topper in the PG courses. So for that, I would like to call the registrar sir to call the names, and also I like to request our chairman sir to present the gold medal.
For this year, I present to you, sir, two students, Mr. Kailash Prasad, BTech in EC, and Mr. Pritosh Jana, MTech in DREAM, for the award of the Chairman's Gold Medal. Mr. Kailash Prasad. Kailash Prasad. Mr. Pritosh Jana.
Thank you, sir. Now, I'd like to call Chief Guest, respected Namdat sir, to give the Institute Gold Medals for both UG and PG.
The Institute Gold Medals, one for each of the disciplines under the BTech, MTech, MS programs are Ogeti Aminisri Sai, topper BTech in Biotechnology. Dava Dolma Shepra, topper BTech in Civil Engineering. Chandan Kumar, topper BTech in CSC. Kailash Prasad, topper BTech in EC. Vishal Gangbar, topper BTech in EE. Rishi Kumar Singh, topper BTech in ME. Praveen V, topper MTech in ATE. Roshan Bharti, topper MTech in MTCS. Deepshika Mahanta, topper MTech in MCC. Srija Shah, topper MTech in EDM. Priyatosh Jana, topper MTech in Dream. Rishikesh Pramod Yadav, MTech, topper MTech in MSDIT. Priyanka Kumari, topper MS in MC. Rajat Srivastava, topper MS in MP. Arvind Sharma, topper MS in ES.
Thank you, sir.
I, Priyatosh Jena, a graduate of the National Institute of Technology, Arunachal Pradesh, hereby place that I shall always endeavor to be scrupulously honest in the discharge of my duties. I shall utilize my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability for the service of society and of the country, for the glory of the institute. In all circumstances, I shall uphold the dignity of the individual and the integrity of my profession.
Thank you. Now, I'd like to call Chairman Board of Governors to formally declare the closing of the convocation. Sir, please.
I declare the 5th convocation of National Institute of Technology, Arunachal Pradesh closed.
Project Rapishaji.